Hello again. Sorry about the poor video quality. It's on the phone and it looks a lot lighter in here than it does on the screen because I can see myself, which isn't the nicest thing in the world. I've decided to do another video because I've been thinking about it for a few days and um, there's also the thing of like service to others. How can I be of service to others? So maybe like by doing this, doing a few more videos, I can do something, service to otherwise. Um, so this time I'm gonna talk about an experience that I had. Just one of many very strange, exciting, but not quite at the time because I wasn't awake. Or I'm not awake now. I'm awakening. I wouldn't say I was awake. I'm awakening. But it's just one of like many crazy to normal people experiences I've had in my life. So this particular one, there was a psytrance free party. Like it's free. It's in the middle of nowhere, illegal technically. It was on the side of a mountain, and I went there with like quite a lot of friends I know from my city where I grew up, and it was on the mountain in the Lake District, Mount Coniston, and when I went there, I really wanted to climb to the top of it, but it looks like the peak wasn't that far away from where the party was, and you could see it like, and it just like ended sort of there, and I was like, yeah, let's climb to the top, and everyone's saying, oh, we'll wait in the morning, and my friend Ross, he'd said like, oh, like when it gets light, we'll walk up it, and during the party, during the night time, my other friend Will was like, oh, Brian, do you want to walk to top up mountain, and I was like, yeah, let's go. Like now, I've been wanting to walk up there for hours. So we walk up and we get to this peak, and then when we get to this peak, there's another peak about the same distance as this peak was away. And I was like, yeah, but it's bigger than I thought it was. And I get to the top of that peak, and there's another peak, and in the end, it took us 4 hours to walk to the top. Right, it was pretty big, We weren't that far up it. No, we were kind of far up it. We weren't that far up it though. We weren't near the top. It took us 4 hours to get to the top, so we walked to the top, and we met a few of these other guys from the party because they were up there, and one of them went swimming in a nice cold lake that was also up there. It was really cool though, it was a nice little jaunt for 4 hours, and we get to the top, hung around for half an hour, and then we walked back down to the party. And on the way down to the party, there were these two guys, and they were stood on the side of the mountain, and they had these like sticks in their hand, and they were putting them above their head and then going huh, huh, together at the same time. And like me and my friend was like, what are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? Uh, and it was like the sun was rising, so I walked up to him and I was like, "Excuse me, mate, what are you doing?" And the guy didn't say anything, but he looked at me with this glaring look, and really strange. It was really weird at the time, And so we were just like, "Ooh, sorry," like, all right, crack on. And we walk back down the mountain. Goes back to the party, and then I'm in the party and I'm having a little dance and stuff. And then my friend Ross, he comes over to me and he goes, "Oh, Brian, do you want to walk up the mountain now?" And I didn't want to say, "Oh yeah, I've already walked up it, mate." So I was like, "Yeah, come on then, we'll walk up." And I got about halfway, so maybe like 2 hours or something. Uh, and I was knackered, and I was like, "Oh, mate, look, I'm gonna have to, tell the truth. I've already walked up it, man. I've already been up with Will earlier on, um, I can't physically walk any further than I've already walked." All right, mate. Uh, so I said, "I'll just wait here for you, man. I'll just lie down and I'll wait here, and then on your way back down, just like pick me up and we'll walk back together. I'll just chill out." So he was like, "All right, cool." So he carries on walking up this mountain, and it's quite light now, but it's still like maybe half six. It's like middle of summer, so it's probably like six, half six, seven sort of time, and really like the sky's pretty much clear. So I was like, "Cool, this is nice," and I wasn't like awake or awakening or anything back then. I didn't really know much about spirituality at all. I'd had like strange experiences in my life beforehand, but this particular one, it was like mind blowing. This was mind blowing. So anyway, I'm laid on my back and I'm looking at the sky, and this cloud comes over, and my granddad had died like maybe a year before it, and my granddad's like he was quite a lot like a father. I've got like a dad, I've got two. I've got like my stepdad and my biological dad, but my granddad was quite a lot like a father as well to me. He was so much respect for him and love, and then so anyway, is this cloud comes over, and this cloud looked like my granddad's face, and it wasn't like when you see a cloud and you go, what does that cloud look like? It looks like a tree or whatever. This was basically my granddad's face in a cloud, like it was just uncanny, everything, and like his dimples and everything. And I shit myself. I was like, what the fuck? And I jumped up and I ran down the mountain. It doesn't take 2 hours to run down it. It takes 4 hours to run up it. It takes about 5 minutes to run down it. And I ran down it back to the party because it freaked me out. Like it totally freaked me out. And I'm getting to the bottom and I can see the party, and there's this guy walking towards me, like an old guy, and he's got long dreadlocks, like a white guy, long dreadlocks, and a walking stick and this big hanging coat. And I'm walking towards the party, and as I'm walking towards the party, he walks past me, and as he walks past me, he puts his hand on my shoulder and he leans his head really close to me, and he said, "Your grandfather wishes down upon this mountain." And then and boom, my head just exploded, and I stopped like dead. I was frozen solid, and I just turned around to the guy and I said, "What did you say, mate?" And he just chuckled, laughing, and he went, "Ha ha ha ha," waving his hand. So I was like, "Oh my god, what is going on? Like, how could he possibly know that?" Because I was completely by myself. There's absolutely no way he could have known that. And I was afraid, I was afraid. I don't know, people were fucking psychic and stuff. Sorry for the language. I'm trying to keep a little bit. I didn't know people, could read people's minds, or whatever it was that he could do. And then, and I just wanted to go home, and that was it. I'd had enough, I just want to go home now. Like I don't know what's going on here. And then, the person that I came with in the car, she lost the keys. So not only did like we couldn't go straight back, but we had to like wait for the AA to come and pick us up off the side of the mountain at like 10:30 at night after everybody had gone home, and I had to stay on that mountain all day long. And when now looking back on it, like I can I know what it was, like, well, I have ideas of what it was, like maybe because the vibe was really high at the party and we were on a mountain, and maybe it was a certain time of year or whatever, maybe like maybe barriers were lifted or veils were lifted, and like thresholds were crossed like briefly, or there was like a ripping in something or other. I'm not gonna say like two mental concepts just yet, but whatever it was quite crazy. And yeah, that happened. Like that kind of like set sort of bells off in my head, and these are like earlier things that have happened to sort of put me onto a path. Well, I'll tell you what. While I'm talking about this, I might as well tell you like the big thing that kind of the big thing that really put me onto this path was, if you watched my video about the anxiety thing, there was a point like I was living in squats and things like that, and I was on my own, and two people that I lived with got sectioned. They both got sectioned, right? They both got sectioned in the same. I lived in the same house as them, and they both got sectioned. So I lived by myself, and I'd basically had enough. Like I'd had enough of everything, and like I'd totally planned out my suicide. I'd planned out to like buy like enough heroin just to inject and die. Because I'd never taken it or anything. So I thought like painless or whatever. And then um, just before I was like totally ready to do it, and I had the money for it and stuff, and I was gonna go get it. I fell down some stairs, and I like flatlined like straight away. Like I fell down some stairs, knocked unconscious. Like, I was in intensive care for like a week or 2 weeks or something, and like I flatlined a few times, and I had an experience, and my experience was that I was in, well, I wasn't in anything. I was somewhere else, and I was in what you would think of in a, like a dense reality as a room, but it wasn't a room. But it kind of like reminds me of a room, and there was me and beings, um, three beings there, and they were all bigger than me, and like I'm only 7 foot tall, so like I remember the height, they were all taller than me, and two of them had their hands folded, so it felt kind of like felt kind of official in a way. Felt like kind of an official thing. Two of them had their hands folded, and then one of them said to me, "Do you want to die, or do you want to go back? As in, like, do you want to die? Because if you want to die, you can just come back now. We'll just take it, or you can continue your life." And so I replied, and the me that was there was the me without any bullshit or any baggage or anything. It was like the pure me that is at my core, like with no ego or whatever. But it was still me. And I said, I'll go back. I regretted that when I first woke up, right? But I said, I'll go back. I don't regret it now. And they said, you know what you have to do, don't you? And I don't remember what they said about that. I don't know what I have to do. Hopefully I've done it or I'm doing it. You know what you have to do, don't you? And then I woke up, and when I woke up... so let me just get this off the screen. When I woke up, I just remember sitting up in my hospital bed and saying to myself, you put yourself here, you get yourself out, like metaphorically or whatever. And also, when I was in hospital, I had another experience, and this was like a physical thing. This was even more weird. Of two people, I'm going to say people in inverted commas because nobody really knows that they were people, right? Two people came into my hospital ward, which is completely locked down because it was a head injury ward, and you need to book getting in and out, and they have it all locked all the time. It's on a bell. Two people strolled in, apparently, walked up to my bed, said something to me, and I remember them saying something to me. I remember what they said to me. They said, you agreed to this, and I remember knowing what it was that I'd agreed to, even though I don't remember what it was, but I remember, like, I knew full well what I'd agreed to, and I just said yes, and I offered my arm up, and they injected me with something. And then they just walked out, and apparently I whatever it was that it did, like, dropped me back into like coma sort of stasis briefly, for a day or something. And I remember the doctor called me into his office, and like the doctor's face was drip white. I've never seen anything like this. His face was drip white. He looks like he was terrified, right? And he just called me into office, and he like said, who came to your bed? Who was it? Who was it? And like he was drip white and absolutely terrified. I didn't remember at the time, like I had no idea what he was talking about. I thought he was going to tell me I needed a brain operation or something. Sorry. And all the nurses treat me weird and stuff, and apparently they all remember something happening, but there's no record of it actually happening, but they all remember like something happened. So like I've had people like channeling before and tell me what it was, and it kind of makes sense, in a way, but whatever it was that channeled, I'm sure whatever the information that I got probably wasn't the whole picture. It's just whatever I can understand on this level. But like the information that she got back when she channeled for me was that they were fixing my broken heart. So like whatever it was something in there. And then everything changed. Everything changed after that. My life just completely changed. I like stopped drinking, and I found somewhere to live like pretty much as soon as I got out of hospital. And apparently when I was in intensive care, the stuff that they inject you with to get rid of your pain is the same stuff they use in truth serums, right? So like whatever when they've got people captured in wartime and they use truth serum on them, it's what they use when you're in intensive care to take your pain away, right? So basically whatever questions they were asking me, I was telling them the answers constantly. So like they all knew. As soon as I woke up, they knew everything about me. They knew I lived in squats, and they knew that I drank too much, and they knew that I had this mental anxiety, and like they knew everything. Like I just told them everything. So they must have been asking me questions while I was like out and stuff. I remember something else, but I won't tell you that. It's quite rude, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, my life just completely changed from that moment. Like from waking up and from having that experience and then waking up and just like being aware of like that it's time to change. And within like 2 years I'd quit drinking, quit taking drugs, I'd moved into a rented accommodation, and then I moved out of the city, and like I moved to 200 miles away into the countryside, and like I started meditating, and I've seen loads of crazy stuff in my life. Like that's not even the tip of it. Them two things aren't even the most crazy things that I've seen. I've seen way crazy things than that. Like for instance, here's another one. Right, can you see this? This white feather, right? This white feather here. This one white feather. I'll never let go of this feather. This one white feather. I'll tell you the story. This one white feather. The last story, because it's been like 15 minutes, so I hope you're still interested. This one feather. I was shopping one day with my friend, and we were sat in the car park having a cig after we'd been shopping, like you do. Sat in the car having a smoke, and it was summer, and there was no clouds in the sky at all. And I looked out of the window, and it was like the sea was right next to us. I looked out of the window over the sea, and I was like, "Holy shit! Can you see that?" And I looked in the sky, and there were numbers written in the clouds, but not written in the clouds. Not like I could just see numbers. The clouds were massive numbers, right? 11, 12, no, 11 for 12, right? So it was like so I thought straight away 11th of April 2012, but like I was just like, oh my god, it looks like God had photoshopped these numbers into the sky with clouds, right? That's how mental it was. So I wrote it down anyway. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to write this date down, because something mental's gonna happen, something crazy's gonna happen on this day, something mental's gonna happen. So I write this date down anyway, and I told people about it. I was like, oh my god, everybody, 11th of the 4th, 2012, or whatever date it was. You need to be like aware what's the sky, because like aliens are gonna land on something crazy is gonna happen, which obviously people didn't believe me. But so anyway, this was like months. This is like the year before or something. Anyway, must have been 2011, sometime or something like that. So anyway, I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. By the time it came around, and nothing had, like well, I forgot about it, so it's not even like nothing had happened. But I forgot about it anyway. And I'm at my friend's house, and I'm at my friend's mum's house on this date, and it's I'm cooking, and they're sat in the kitchen. And she lived in this cottage, and this cottage, literally you open a door and you're in the woods, right? It's like a gatehouse, so it's next to a wall, but it's also just in the woods. It was an absolutely beautiful place. So I'm cooking, and I bend down into the oven to get something out, and when I stood up, that feather was in my top shirt pocket, which I've only recently realised that's my heart pocket, right next to my heart. But there was absolutely, it was a lot bigger than that as well when it first happened, because this was years and years ago, and now this was like 4 or 5 years ago or something. So like it wasn't as shriveled as it was. It was a massive feather, and it just appeared out of nowhere in my pocket. There's like absolutely no possible way that it could have physically got there. And it blew me away at the time, and then we were all coming up with, oh, it must have blown in through window magically and landed in my top pocket, it's impossible, it's an impossible thing. Plus I was bent down, it wouldn't have been able to do it. There's no possible way it could have got there physically. And then when I realised it was on the date that I'd seen in the sky, now I reckon personally that the letters and the numbers in the sky were for something else. They were probably for something else, but just the fact that happened and like crazily just magically appeared in my pocket, so I've kept it, I've kept it. Anyway, I could tell you loads of others, but this has been going on. I've been doing it for 20 minutes now, so I'm not going to. But if you're interested in hearing any more, leave me a comment or like it or whatever, and I'll do some more. Right, cool. Be good to each other.